बीती शाम आने वाली फिल्म क्रिसमस कारमा का प्रीमियर हुआ, वो भी मुंबई में। इसमें यहाँ पर पहुँच गए बॉलीवुड के कई सारे कलाकार, साथ ही साथ नजर आए टीवी के कई चेहरे भी। वहीं इसमें नाम शामिल था सबसे पहले टेलीविजन के मोस्ट पॉपुलर और लव्ड कपल्स रवि दुबे और सरगुन मेहता का। इसके अलावा यहाँ पर नजर आई रसिका दुग्गल, मनीष मल्होत्रा, गुरिंदर चड्डा, करण जौहर, अनु मलिक जो पहुँचे अपनी बिटिया रानी संग। इसके अलावा कई और कलाकार शामिल हुए इस खास प्रीमियर में और बने इस खास प्रीमियर के खास मेहमान, जहां से आपके लिए सास बहू और बेटियां लेकर आया है ये सभी खास पल।
Very moving, wasn't it? You know, my daughter is in the film, and at college she wants to learn sign language. So that was amazing. I filmed that for her. Wow, thank you everyone. What amazing speeches. Thank you, Nina. That was a beautiful introduction. Thank you, Miss Samrita. You have so many skills. I would like to add one more skill. I need to teach you football, so we can get you and bend it like Beckham too. It's all about female empowerment, so I'm so happy to, obviously I know of all your work, and I think one of the best things about this evening is everyone who's been on stage has been a woman, you know? Wow, isn't that amazing? That is something, yes. What can I say? I am here because I grew up in England. I wanted to make a Christmas film because we see so many Christmas films and it's such a big part of our lives. But I chose a story really about a refugee. And I wanted to tell that story because Charles Dickens' story was about a man who suffers childhood trauma. And people I knew had come from Uganda in 1972 to Britain and were still living with the trauma of that and had turned to money. What we do as filmmakers, I think, is we carry our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors. You know, 70 odd years ago now, you know, my grandparents came as refugees from India and Pakistan, from what is now Pakistan to India. My parents were in India, my grandparents were in India and in East Africa, and then came to England. My grandmother, who was born in Rawalpindi, lived in India, came to England, and would insist I make rotis. And, and you know, so I carry all that with me, and that's what makes its way into my films. And I'm deeply touched by the fact that, you know, my family's here, and it's wonderful for me to have family in India who I love and who come. And my VIP this evening is my mummy G, who's 93 years old and who insisted on coming. partition. And isn't that ironic? These stories of partition bring us round in circles. The story of refugees, the stories of loss, but then also celebration. And this film for me is a combination. But sometimes I tell stories in Britain that people in America and Britain don't necessarily want to finance. So I'm struggling to get this film made. And then I happened to be walking along the Croisette in Cannes, and I saw two Indian women coming towards me, and they were both going, "Oh my God, it's Gurinder Chana, we have to get a photo, we have to get a photo." And so I stopped, and they took a selfie with me, and then I said, "What do you do?" And one of them said, "Oh, I have a film studio in London, in India, called Civic Studios." As soon as she told me about the social impact of their philosophy of financing films, I immediately sent her the script. Next day they came back and came on board. So my immense gratitude to Civic Studios and Xtra and our whole team. Then fast forward from that Cannes to Christmas. I had money, but not enough money. And I still couldn't raise the last part of the budget. And Christmas was coming, and London was so beautiful at Christmas time, and all the lights were there, and I just didn't have the finances complete to make the film. And I was very depressed. And then I had agreed, Sunil Sheth, my dear friend here of a long time, had asked me to do a reading at a charity event in Piccadilly. And I had agreed. I've been to Sense International as well, many charities Sunil gets me to. And on this occasion, I was sad because all the Christmas lights were on and they were twinkling at me. And I was super upset that I hadn't been able to get my film together in time to shoot this lovely production value. So I did the reading. I offered an additional gift to the raffle, which was a walk-on part in my next film. It was wonderful. They sold lots of tickets. After Sunil came up to me with this beautiful lady here, Madhvi, and the two of them came up to me and said, "So tell us about this film." And I said, there's so much rhetoric going on about racism and refugees right now, and the compassionate way politicians are talking about refugees. It really upsets me. And so I wanted to tell that story, but I also wanted to celebrate us. And so I've done it as a Christmas film. They were, "Well, this sounds great. Why aren't you making your movie?" And I said, I just don't have the last section of finance, And next day, I went home. Next day, Sunil called me and said, "You know what? Madhavi, I and a few friends, we all went to dinner, and we all felt very bad that you had given us so much pleasure, but you couldn't raise the complete finance for your film. So we've all spoken to our friends, we've all had a whip round, we put our hands in our pockets, and we're going to finance the rest of your movie." And thank you, Sunil, thank you, Madhavi. That is the reason why this film is here, because of the love and support of many Indians, as well as Rishi Sunak with the tax credit, and TrueBrit, my distributor. So I'm ever grateful to PVR. Thank you all for coming. I think you will see this is really a film about karma. Charles Dickens wrote a book about karma. The original book is about Scrooge learning how not to live his life by Malik and to find a good path. And ultimately, what I wanted to do was make a film for my kids and their friends that taught them how to be decent human beings and what to look for. And really, finally, Charles Dickens did not know, but the book that he wrote was from the principles of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because the book is Ek Onkar. He says we're all one, rich or poor, we're all affected by each other. And how does Scrooge find salvation and redemption in the end? He learns by doing seva, by giving to people, is actually how you feel like a human being.
This movie, which is again, I'm sure, going to make records in the coming days. Speaking about Sense International India, I've been associated with Sunil ji because of his phenomenal work for deaf-blind children. And as we all know that this is one of the critical issues which had never been handled properly or never had been recognized. But because of you, it got a platform and it got recognized under the deaf blindness rights of persons with disability. You also promoted rubella, which was very helpful in terms of combating the disease. And I'm sure you have a long way to go. I think so. With ma'am and you being a combination, both of you stand for people who might not have the platform, who might not have the background, but who need to be heard, included, and loved. So you make a great, compassionate pair. And in fact, we all are there with you. I think so. This movie, I think so. Mr. Sood, who's the I think so Scrooge in the movie with three ghosts will give us a beautiful story which will touch our hearts. It will give us the message of love, compassion, which is very much needed in today's times, which are volatile and violent. So let's together watch the movie, promote the movie, and let's be there for each other always for causes which matter to the world. Thank you.
मुंबई से ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट।